Hey everyone, for this week I made some Kakuni or braised pork belly. It requires some time but no more than your typical braised dish, so let's get started. First, we'll dice up our aromatics and vegetables. Slice up your shallots and the white part of your leeks while reserving the green parts on the side. Leeks usually have a lot of dirt in between the layers, so make sure you rinse them out beforehand. All I did is split the leek in half and then I just cut them into small bite-sized pieces. I'll be mincing up some ginger and some garlic as well. Also, as a trick to peel ginger more quickly, use a spoon as the curved edges will scrape away at those odd angles of the ginger pieces easier. Here I have some pork belly that I dry brine overnight with some salt. I'm going to cut them in half so they're easier to handle. Kakuni is a braised pork belly dish with radish. The pork belly becomes super tender and the radish absorbs a lot of the flavor from the braising liquid, so it's quite the comforting meal. My pork belly has a bone in it, but hopefully you can find yours already deboned. I'll be finishing up my dashi stock before I start searing my pork belly. This will be a quick tutorial, so you want to bring this up to a simmer, and then take out our kombu, bring this up to a boil, and then add in our katsuobushi and let this steep for 5 minutes before we strain it out. If you want a more detailed tutorial, I'll link a video I made for dashi a while back. Now I'll be searing my pork belly, starting from a cold pan so we can render out some of that fat from our pork belly. I also cover it with a lid as there'll be a lot of splatters later on, and I just want to reduce some of the mess since I have no splatter guard. While this is currently searing, we want to preheat our oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. As you see, the meat is stuck, so we'll want to wait for it to fully sear and it'll release on its own. When it's nice and brown like this, we can flip it over. Brown all the pork belly on both sides and then we'll reserve it on the side. Now we'll scoop out some of the lard out and reserve some so we can saute our shallots and leeks. Salt it a bit so it can release some of its moisture to help deglaze some of the fond on the bottom. We'll want to cook these out until translucent, then we'll add in our ginger or garlic and continue to cook these until fragrant. Deglaze with some sake and mirin. Remember to scrape the bottom for all the fond. We'll also add just a pinch of sugar as well. Finally, add in your dashi and place back in your seared pork belly. I also added back in the green part of the leeks as well, which I tied up with some butcher twine so we can take it out easier. Cover this and let this braise in the oven for 1 hour. While the pork is braising, we can finish cutting up the radish. We'll cut this up rangiri style, which means random cuts. In order to do so, cut a piece diagonally, then turn it slightly, then cut it diagonally again. Repeat this until you finish up cutting up the entire radish. After 1 hour braising, we'll take our Dutch oven out and then use a fork to test how done the pork belly is. It should still be relatively tough, so now's a good time to finish seasoning up our braising liquid with some soy sauce. Then we'll add in our radish and let this finish braising in the oven for another 1 hour. So, time to explain some of the reasonings for doing what I did. I dry brined the pork belly overnight, so the whole slab of meat will be salted. We also used the green parts of the leeks as an extra aromatic base for our braising liquid, and why waste what you already purchased, right? After the 1 hour of extra braising time, we'll check our pork belly to see if it's tender. It's definitely tender enough, but the radish still needs a bit of time, so I'll put this back on the burner to let it simmer until it's soft enough to serve. After letting this cool overnight and scraping off the excess fat, I reheated the pot and served it for dinner for my family. I also topped it off with some scallions for extra freshness, and this is how you make Kakuni, so go give it a shot. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and follow my Instagram at Weekend Cooks. Thanks for the support.